Hey guys, it's Frey, and today, you could probably tell by the title of this video, today I'm doing 50 facts about me. One thing before I start is that last week, or 2 weeks ago, my last video, I did that challenge video, and that was so much fun. I was thinking that I could do alternating every week, a sit down and a challenge. So like 1 week I'll do a challenge, and next week I'll do a sit down, and go from there. But I just wanted to kind of say that as a little intro to my channel because I know that last week wasn't really that. So, first, I love the smell of bug spray. Everybody thinks that's really weird, but I love it. It makes me think of summer, and I love summer, and I don't know, it's just a smell that I really like. I also love lemon scented cleaning products. I don't know what it is, but it's like heaven. The vanilla taste of Tic Tacs, when you first put a Tic Tac in your mouth, and like before you get to the actual like the orange taste or the mint, you get the initial like vanilla taste on the outside of the Tic Tac. It's the best thing in the world. This one is really weird and everybody always thinks it's so strange, but I love seeing men in suits eating ice cream because I always think they're like, oh, so posh in their suits, but then they have like a little cone of ice cream, and I think that's so cute. I hate mayonnaise. I think it's so gross. I don't understand how people can eat it. It's just, ugh. I am afraid of whales. I would much rather swim with sharks than swim with whales. Whales just scare the crap out of me. I am approximately 6 feet tall. I'm really tall. I've always been tall. I'm 16 years old, was born on August 24th in 1998. I love watching the Food Network. I don't have a TV, I didn't grow up with a TV, but every time I would go over to my grandma's house, my main go-to channel was the Food Network. I played club volleyball for 3 years. My number was 12. I love Canada. I live in Toronto, and I have so much Canadian pride. Like, I mean, for the most part, I love snow. I mean, I don't love winter. Nobody loves winter because it's like minus a bajillion. But I love everything that has to do with Canada. Whenever anybody mentions Canada, I feel so proud. I love hockey. I pretty much live off of Tim Hortons. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen that those commercials are kind of old now, but they were for Molson, the beer. There were these like beer fridges in the woods, or like in England or somewhere, like in somewhere that's not Canada. And to open the fridge, you had to either sing the national anthem, or somebody with a Canadian passport, they had to like put the passport, like stamp it into the thing, and it was like bringing the world together with like Canadian beer. Every time I saw it, I was like, woohoo, I love Canada. I am the oldest of 7 grandchildren on my mom's side of the family. I have a little sister, her name is Anya. I love summer. Summer is my favorite season. I love everything about summer. I love the heat. I love going swimming. I love going to the beach. I love that you can walk outside without spending 10 minutes getting your clothes on. I also don't like pepper, like ground pepper. Pepper on anything, just, ugh, I don't like pepper. I do love concerts. The first concert I went to, I was 14, and it was Taylor Swift. It was on her Red Tour, and it was at the Rogers Centre in Toronto, which holds like 16,000 people or something. Since then I've been to a whole bunch, but I feel most comfortable in a concert. I love being at concerts. Over the course of my life, I have learned to play piano, alto saxophone, which I had to learn for school. I also play guitar. Other than blue, I've also dyed my hair pink, well, 2 shades of pink, and purple. I never have any space on my phone. It used to be because I had a ton of pictures, because I have the iPhone 4, barely holds anything. When I was, I don't know, probably like 6, I think, I was in the backyard and playing with my cousin. For some reason, in my basement, we had this like spear. I don't even know where it came from, but for some reason my dad brought it out and he was like, here, Jake, to my cousin. He was like, here, Jake, play with this, which was a great idea to give a 6-year-old. Of course, my cousin took it and was like, wow, this is so cool, and threw it, like, just because, threw it, and it hit my face and it cut me right under his eye, and I was like bleeding. It was really gross. So that happened. My best friend used to live right down the street from me, and once I was running to her house, I ran down the street and I slipped on some kid's skateboard and I cut my knee wide open. I love giving hugs. Hugs are just the best thing, and I love giving hugs. One of my favorite bands is One Direction, and I am a huge One Direction fan. Since I was, I don't know, like 4 or 3 or 5 or something, my favorite book, my favorite play, my favorite everything is Peter Pan. I've seen the movie, the animated and the real people. I've seen them both countless times. One of my favorite videos on YouTube is the first kiss video, where they take a bunch of strangers and they make them kiss. I love that video. It just makes me really happy. I hate cooked tomatoes. One of my favorite shows is Say Yes to the Dress. I love watching it. I know to each his own and everybody has their different tastes, but some people choose some crazy dresses. By the time I was 11, my family had moved 13 times. This one is really strange and everybody thinks it's so stupid, but I don't really believe some aspects of science. Scientists say people can't visualize space because it's so big. I can't visualize cells and like atoms because they're so small. If you think about how tiny a cell is, like a cell is a microfraction of a millimeter. And a millimeter is so small, and a cell is like way tinier than that. And I get that you can see it through a microscope and like there's studies and research and everything, but like I can't bring myself to believe that something that tiny exists. This is kind of a 2-in-1, but I love chips, but I hate Cheetos. Just the fact that like cheese, but it's like powdered cheese. When I'm tired, I just get so lazy and I get so fed up with everyone, I swear a lot. I've been wanting to make a YouTube channel for so long, and I mean I never really did, but sometimes I just sit around and be like, oh, that would be a cool video, or I see something and it triggers like a thing in my mind. I'm like, oh, I should make that. So I'm really happy that I finally made one. The first YouTuber that I watched, I guess, was Glozell. It was before I kind of like knew really what YouTube was and like how to subscribe and everything. I watched her videos, but I didn't like keep up every week. The first YouTuber that I started watching was Jax Gap. I love traveling, but I hate planes, which is very inconvenient. I have been to South Africa. My mom is South African, and I was in grade 8. I went to South Africa with my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, and and my grandma. We all went to South Africa for 6 weeks. I love finding the odd one out of things. Finding coins that are only stamped, like half of the coin is stamped. I love finding those. I've only ever found one 4-leaf clover in my whole life, and I found it in my backyard, and I was so happy. And I put it in between parchment paper and put it in a book so I wouldn't lose it, and then one day it fell out of the book and I have no idea where it is. I have never broken a bone. When I was, I think 2 or 3 or 4, I was so sick that I was in the hospital on Christmas Eve. I was such a nerd when I was younger. I loved school so much and I wanted to learn so many things that in the summer, I think it was between grade 3 and 4, I got my dad to teach me like summer school. So every day for like an hour or 2, he would teach me Roman numerals. I love to swim. One summer I went to Center Island with my family. We were at the beach and it was super windy, so there were a ton of waves. And I was like playing school with the waves, like I was the teacher, and the waves would go by and I'd be like, no, stay there. Or I'd be like, no, keep doing your homework. Like I was playing teacher with the waves. I used to have braces. I had braces for less than a year and a half. I used to model. I actually got scouted at my orthodontist office. Then I did it for about a year or 2 years. But then I quit because it was so demanding. But it was really fun while it lasted. When I was learning to talk, I used to call school kula. And instead of apartment, I would say apartment. And every time I saw an ambulance, I would call it an amblience. I have this wonky eyelash that always just hangs down. It's on this eye. And it's really annoying for putting on mascara because it always, like, I'll be putting it on and it like hangs down and then it gets on all my bottom lashes and it's just a big mess. I am terrible with keeping earphones. I break them constantly. I go through earphones so quickly. I don't know why, I just have terrible luck with them. They break so easily. I don't know if it's just the ones that I have or if it's me that breaks them, but like they barely even last a couple of months. I'm allergic to pineapple. I was never actually diagnosed, I don't know if you're diagnosed to be allergic to pineapple, but every time I eat it, my whole mouth goes numb. So I just kind of self-diagnosed myself to be allergic to pineapple. One of my favorite things, not to collect, but that just kind of exist, are the tiny little jams that you get at like breakfast diners. I steal them from the restaurants all the time. Got a little bag of all these tiny jams. They're just so much better than any other jam. I love onion rings. Onion rings are one of my favorite foods. Like, I've always loved onion rings and they're always so good. Finally, I'm so happy that I finally made this YouTube channel, and really, like, I want to say thank you to every single person that has encouraged me and helped me to make this channel. Everyone, you know who you are. Everyone who has encouraged me and everything that's ever gone into making this channel. Thank you so much. All you guys that are watching, subscribers and people who like my video, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for supporting this project. That's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe and share, and I will see you next week.